Hello and welcome to Were You Not Entertained? I'm Daniel.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm James.
And we're going to be talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League. It is the brainchild of the original director of Justice League.
Right.
Who actually got to finish it this time.
Yeah. If people aren't aware, he had to step away because of a family tragedy. And so, understandable. But after seeing this, I'm sad that he did because, my God, I loved this.
Yeah. This was... So it's 4 hours long. It's just over 4 hours long.
Oh, my God.
So not really feasible for a theater release. Like no movie
Right.
theater is going to play a 4 hour movie.
Yeah.
Maybe could have gotten away with 3 hours of it. But still, I would
Or
feel
maybe
like
even
you'd
broken it
lose
into
a
two
lot.
movies.
Yeah, or even broken it into two movies. But I feel like you would have pissed so many people off if you had done that.
Yeah.
Because there's not like a good ending point. Right? There's not a good point anywhere in the middle of the movie where you go, okay, this will lead into something else. It would just leave you hanging and you'd be like, I hate you forever.
Yeah. So heads up, we're going to spoil this.
Yes, this is going to be spoiler filled because how can you not spoil anything in a 4 hour movie?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's the thing about it is that even though it was 4 hours, it didn't drag,
Right.
which is interesting. It's not often you can do that. I think even as a comparison, like The Irishman,
Mhm.
that was just over 3 hours, I think. And there were plenty of times in that movie that it was repeating itself, or you were like, just come on already. Right?
Yeah.
And people consider this a great film. And it was a great film. So, I can't knock it for that, but there is none of that in this. And it's an hour longer.
And to be fair, that is debatable. I don't agree with the debate, but I have seen people say that, what was one quote from a negative review? It's like watching paint dry.
Yeah,
So-
I don't agree with that at all.
Oh, Justice League?
Yeah, I don't know why. I didn't read the whole article. I kind of laughed and then moved on.
I feel like those, and I could be wrong. I mean, maybe they're huge fans, but I feel like those are the kind of people that don't necessarily enjoy these kinds of movies anyway.
Or they're the kind of people who are like, there weren't enough jokes in it, like Marvel movies.
Right. Okay. That's fair.
Yeah, and I'll step in because I'm, in a sense, one of those people, just a little
Yeah.
bit, because DC has never really been my thing.
Yeah. You're much more of a
I-
Marvel fan.
Yeah, I like Marvel movies because they're funny and they're engaging. And
They're
you
not
get
dark.
No, you get the same superhero feeling, but it's fun. And so for me, I didn't really like the Superman movies. I didn't particularly love the Batman movies with Ben Affleck. Just wasn't as much my thing. And so I remember watching the first Justice League, and really all I remember about it is not liking it. I couldn't give you any specific details, but
It's been a little while at this point.
it's been, yeah. But I never wanted to watch it again. And it didn't make me feel excited or like I wanted to have a day where I sat down and watched other DC films and then Justice League. So to
I get
me,
that.
the theatrical cut, which is half the time, felt slower. And I remember feeling kind of disappointed and like it was sort of dumb. Like it didn't really make a lot of sense to me.
You're talking about the original?
The original, yeah, the
Mhm.
theatrical cut.
Yeah.
And then to see this was awesome. This was great. I felt entertained and the whole movie was exciting to me. Everything felt logical and well thought out, even if it was a little contrived. It still worked so much better.
Agreed, yes. Now,
Yeah.
I did the complete opposite. I am a big DC fan, and I do. When we watched the last one, I think we even covered it for this podcast.
We did, yeah.
I can't remember anymore. There's been so many movies, but I did not really like it. It was good. It was fun, and I enjoyed it because I like seeing Batman and Superman and the rest of the team on screen beating bad guys. But all of the stuff that we now see was cut out was crucial in giving your characters motivation for the actions that they're taking. There are so many scenes in this that I literally screamed out loud, why wasn't this in the original? That explains so much stuff that I've been wondering for 3 years.
Yeah.
Exactly. I approached this movie because it's been so long. I wanted to make sure I was in the right place to watch this. So I watched Man of Steel, then the Batman versus Superman extended cut into the Snyder cut of Justice League. And I love that trilogy now. Man of Steel is so much better than I remembered it being because I was expecting it to be one thing, like a Christopher Reeves style movie, or what was this 90 or the early 2000s one?
Yeah,
Superman Returns.
Yeah.
With Brandon Routh, I think is his name. Anyway, and so I had those kind of expectations of what Superman on the big screen is supposed to be, and it was a little jarring to have it more realistic take, kind of like Nolanverse was.
Yeah.
And seeing it with fresh eyes, especially with the way the world changed in the last 3 years, I really, really, really appreciate it now. And if you roll from that straight into Batman versus Superman, the extended cut, so you don't have to watch the shorter version that didn't explain enough stuff, which seems to be the running problem with DC movies, is they cut stuff that is important for the plot.
Right.
Yeah.
It all works, and it works well, and it makes sense. In spite of the fact that I have some small gripes about the way certain characters are portrayed because of the history that I have with those characters in other media, I can accept them for this world and enjoy it. And I really cannot express how much I loved this movie. This may be my favorite superhero movie.
Wow. Nice. Yeah. I think that if I remember correctly from our original opinion of Justice League when we watched it, I didn't think it sucked, right? I wasn't like, I hate this movie. I thought it had a lot of problems. I didn't think it explained enough. There was some CG issues. There were things that I was just like, meh, not impressive, but I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
This is leaps and bounds better than that one. And I don't know if it's just because of, well, a lot of it, I guess, has to be because of the detail. It has to be because it doesn't feel jumbled. You're not jumping around. You don't not understand why somebody's doing something.
It gives you time to get invested in the characters.
Yeah. Well, so one of the things that I really remember about the original is that you have, let's say Aquaman, for instance. Like, I was expecting Aquaman to kind of be an important role.
Yeah.
But he's like on the screen and then he's gone.
Yeah.
And then he comes back for a little while and you're like, all right, Aquaman fought. That's cool. And that was like it.
Yeah, this definitely spent a lot more time building your team.
Yeah, you understand.
They had longer introductions. I think they fit the character better than what we saw originally. And there's a lot more group scenes. That's what really I noticed as one of the bigger things is it's more of them as a whole group. It's not one or two of them making decisions or one or two of them doing the fighting. It's really a whole group of them now.
Mm-hmm.
This one doesn't feel as singled out. And
it
to
makes
me, what? Sorry.
Oh, no, I was going to say it makes the end of the movie make more sense because of the way they work together in the final scene, because you want to see, Cyborg throwing Aquaman at a parademon. But that doesn't make any sense if you don't have enough time for them working together to have some sort of a relationship where that might be something that happens.
Right.
Yeah.
It makes them feel stronger.
Right. It just seemed vapid before. But
you would kind of expect, I guess, in the original, you'd kind of expect each one of them to kind of have their own fight as opposed to working together to fight because they've never fought with each other, right?
Right.
It's like, let's just say an NBA All-Star game with a bunch of players that have never met each other and never played with each other. Like they understand how the game works, but like I don't trust you to make this shot, right?
Right.
So I know that's maybe a dumb analogy, but
I think I see what you mean, though.
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense for them to like play off of each other really well in the original because they don't, as far as we know, they've never really fought together. They don't really know each
somewhat
other.
contentious.
Yeah,
right. They never
Exactly.
spend any time interacting with each other and never built up any trust or common ground.
Yeah.
Right.
And they did in this.
In this one, it was like, okay, it makes sense, right? Everything clicks. They know each other. They understand each other's fight.
Yes.
They were pulled into the Justice League, not just off of a request, but kind of off of an emotion. Right. Yeah. They had the conversations about, hey, this is what we're doing. I'm not interested. Okay. Well, here's why you might want to be interested and let me know. That kind of thing, as opposed to, hey, join us. No, okay.
But I'll toss out the other thing that to me really stood out is the style. Mm-hmm. This movie looks completely different.
Yeah. And the sound choice makes it different too.
Yeah, they redesigned some of the characters. The color palette is completely different. And because this has an R rating, this movie has a lot more grit and a lot more stylized fighting choices. Mm-hmm. I really noticed a lot more of the blood, which isn't a negative, but you just don't normally see that in these more comic book kind of films. It felt more like a Sin City sort of stylistic
Watchmen
thing. Yes.
Yeah, and I thought that was a really good analogy when you said it, that it does have kind of that graphic novel movie feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
The Frank Miller sort of feel.
Yeah, and
even the way they broke it up into segments.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The way like a graphic novel is like an omnibus of a series of comic books that tell a single story.
Yeah.
It almost feels that way with the episodes in this.
Exactly.
Yeah. And to me, that combined with changing the ending, I guess Wonder Woman's portion of the ending of this, that made it stand out so much more to where I get it. Like I'm more behind the DC idea of being dark and gritty because it felt like a stronger point of view.
On that note, I do want to kind of bring up something. I still don't think this movie is for everyone who loves Marvel and comic book movies because it is going to have that approach. I think that if they had tried to do the Marvel thing, you get something like Shazam, which is a fun, great movie, but it really doesn't live up to things like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
And because they have a great niche there, and to carve out something that is different and still the same is almost impossible to do. And Marvel, as fun as those movies are, they also aren't quite as deep. Every single DC cinematic universe movie, short of Shazam and Aquaman, but the three major ones that I just watched recently, they all make you walk away and you're asking questions afterwards. Like, what does it mean to be a superhero? Is Clark Kent more of an alien or a human? What would you do if you were in that situation? And all of those questions, where the only movie from Marvel that I walked away feeling like that was Civil War.
Right.
Every other one, I finish it and I'm like, oh man, that was great. What a thrill ride. That was so much fun. But there's never a question that is posed to me or something deeper about the human condition. And it's a DC superhero movie, so it's not like a great drama that does that. But the fact that it's interjected at all and adds that level of grit and kind of reality that you don't get, because it seems like the consequences in Marvel movies are just washed over. Everybody complains in Man of Steel about the amount of damage at the end of the scene, at the end of the movie. But what about the Battle of New York and Avengers? Nobody complains about that. And I know Superman was more involved with the damage and stuff like that. There's minutiae you can pick out there, but there is a little bit of a double standard there. I appreciate that I can have some dark, gritty herodom, especially in a movie that features Batman.
Well, and even this has the Flash, who is sort of your comic relief. But this movie in particular, the way he's portrayed as opposed to the theatrical cut, feels deeper.
Oh,
like you have way more investment in him based on his completely new intro, which was so much better. And
minus the music.
Yeah. And the end scene for him and not having the extraneous, family to save. And
oh God, yeah.
I remember that being a particularly slow point for me. It didn't make sense and it didn't fit. And so to get rid of that and change his behavior and have him reverse time, it just felt so much stronger, and you're much more invested in the Flash. He's not just the funny little extra piece,
Right. Yeah,
and he's powerful enough to have there's a reason he's there.
Yeah.
Right. He fit better to me in this version.
Yeah, in the first one I just remember him being like really scared and like not really adding much to the team, right? You're just like, I've never done anything like this before.
The occasional silly quip, and that was about the extent of his character.
Yeah. And in this one, he's saving everybody. Quite literally at the end, he saves the entire planet. But he's even like in the, I don't remember where they are, like underneath the port or whatever.
Oh, underneath Stryker's Island.
Yeah, when they're actually fighting in that kind of silo looking area.
In the tunnels.
Yeah, so he's putting in some work there, and then when they get all the people out, like he saves all those people from all the debris and stuff that was blown out of the side of it. So it's those things that really make him useful to the team, which was not shown really at all in the original, where like to me, it was like, okay, so the Flash is in this, but who cares?
Right.
Yeah.
He didn't do much.
Each piece felt much more crucial. Each one of them felt more integral to the final conclusion.
Yeah. What about even Cyborg carrying around one of the mother boxes to protect it? Like, it's not just kind of in a closet somewhere while he's roaming around doing whatever, having these conversations, like as he would, right? He's bringing it with him so that he can protect it and make sure it's not found. Which I thought was really, really nice to add and kind of showcase. Yeah,
his whole backstory was a great addition that we didn't get. And same with Wonder Woman and finding out more about how she knows what she does about Steppenwolf and the mother boxes.
Yeah.
Right.
The dark side. And
yeah.
That brings up the other thing. All of the new characters added in this movie.
Yes.
Number one being Darkseid. That was so critical to this movie because one of my biggest complaints about the first one was I don't care about Steppenwolf. He's just a rando big bad that doesn't really seem to have any motivations other than destroy stuff for Darkseid. Yay, get boxes smashed together.
Right.
Like, it was really empty. And now to have the whole he's defamed and having to go through Desaad and showing Darkseid and Desaad and his entire army and everything on Apocalypse and setting up this future movie as well. And the introduction of Martian Manhunter. And I don't know if you guys know, but the scientist guy that they kind of like highlight at the end, Ryan Choi.
Yeah,
that's who. What's that? Yeah,
the one at Star Labs. Yeah,
that I believe is going to be the Atom.
Ah, okay.
Or at least that's who that's supposed to be. I don't know if they'll ever do anything with him becoming the Atom, but
right. Maybe.
I even think the character redesign for Steppenwolf was super crucial. He looked much more menacing and interesting in this.
Right,
his armor was awesome.
Yeah. It made more sense to me in this one, but I mean, everything made more sense in this one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's having all the extra characters really kind of gives you I want to see more of this. It gives you more interest in the DCU. Whereas before it was just kind of like characters, they do a thing, and then so what's next? Do I care?
Yes, I did not care for another Justice League movie. I had zero interest in where that was headed. But now I want to see what happens with Batman's vision and what's going on and why is he working with all these people and what happened to Superman? I have many questions, but I don't know that we're going to get another film.
Well, I do want to say, if you don't mind, it was alluding to a comic storyline that's tied to the video game Injustice, it's Injustice, right?
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, what it is Superman gets tricked into accidentally killing Lois Lane by the Joker. And basically, it breaks Superman from the inside out, and he becomes a tyrant, trying to control everybody, all of the humans, because they can't be trusted. Oh, and she was pregnant with his unborn child, which they hinted to with the pregnancy test inside of her.
Yeah, they did.
Inside of her nightstand. So there's a lot of pieces that could look like we would have seen a bad guy Superman for a movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that all makes sense.
Yeah, and I would be super invested in that. No pun intended with super, but I would actually be interested in that. And after some of the other films, I didn't feel that. Now I'm excited. I'm hyped for the DC thing because I see the point of view now. This isn't just, it doesn't feel like we're trying to be dark and gritty because we're not Marvel. So we want to stand out. Now it makes sense.
Right. I'm also curious how many people are going to go, man, DC just stole, they're just copying Marvel. Look, Darkseid looks so much like Thanos. Not realizing the Darkseid precedes Thanos in character creation, and Thanos was, from what I understand, designed to be Marvel's Darkseid.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think they necessarily look alike. One's purple, and the other one's not.
I mean, fair.
Desaad really looked like the
he does.
the guy from Ready Player One.
Yeah, he does.
Oh yeah. Gosh, I can't remember his name.
I can't remember his name either.
The dude with the big hole in his stomach and his
with the skull
Yeah,
chest.
he's got the skull. Yeah.
Oh gosh, I haven't read that book in so long. I forgot who the name was. The bad guy. Well, semi-bad guy.
But that's just, that actor's voice is what I kept expecting to come out of.
TJ Miller?
TJ Miller, yeah.
I kept expecting to hear DJ Miller. Like, no, this is much more serious.
Different guy. It does. It did kind of remind me of him, though. That was funny.
He reminded me of the telekinetic lackey of Thanos.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, the one that got sucked out into space.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, and none of the bad guys, none of the other bad guys fight. None of the other bad guys die.
Right.
It's just Steppenwolf. Which is really leaves a lot open. Right? There's a lot of room to create now.
Darkseid has to be mad to fight. That's what he has lackeys for. Darkseid is the epitome of arrogance.
Yeah, well, and
where
we also
all that
got to
matters is
see
power.
We also got to see him get his ass handed to him.
Mm-hmm.
Which is okay. So
I mean, he was fighting gods.
Yes, and that's
so.
Wouldn't he technically be considered a god?
Yes. I mean, he considers himself a god.
Yeah. So
and so do all of his followers.
But I do have to say, one of the things that kind of got me about this that I was like, really? Is that the Great Lost Planet. So you came to this planet to conquer it. You got your butt kicked and sent off the planet, and you forgot where this place was? I would assume it's like one of the only places that's ever defeated you. I don't think you'd ever forget.
I think it has to do with the mother boxes. I think he got his butt kicked and sent away without the mother boxes, so he didn't have a way to boom back, but I'm not sure on that. I didn't quite follow exactly why he wasn't able to find Earth again. That's
kind of my only question as far as that goes, that I was just like, right. I don't get that. And yeah, maybe there's an explanation, but it wasn't explained, so.
Wow. And I mean, this isn't a perfect movie.
Well, no, it's not a perfect movie. Some of the song choices were pretty suspect.
Plus, it seemed like Darkseid was unaware that Earth housed the anti-life equation, that he was just coming to conquer, and then got his ass handed to him by gods, and was like, I think he was probably just like, whatever, I'll go conquer other stuff and come back later.
He knew it had the anti-life equation because he said that after he smashed the ground. You know, when he did his big, he was like, "It's here." That's what he was talking about.
Or that was Steppenwolf who discovered it and then told Darkseid through the portal.
Yeah.
No, that was Steppenwolf having a flashback of him being Darkseid, because that's what Darkseid did when he landed originally.
Oh, okay. I didn't remember that part of the earlier vision.
I mean, unless I'm crazy, which I'm getting looked at like I'm crazy, so maybe I am. Maybe I'm misremembering something.
It's a 4-hour movie. I didn't watch it twice.
Fair, yeah, me either. Fair enough. But so if I'm wrong, just let me know.
You know what? I would watch it a second time, though.
Yeah, I would too.
I will watch this a second
4 hours? Absolutely.
I think that says a lot for it.
When's the 4K coming out?
Yeah.
I'll buy it. I was thoroughly impressed. I was very happy to see the rest of his vision put together.
Agreed.
I think it was funny because he has never seen the Joss Whedon version.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was told by his wife or whatever.
His wife and Christopher Nolan told him never to watch it because it would break his heart.
Don't watch it. It would break your heart. Oh. Yeah, so he's not seen it, which is probably really good because, like I said, I didn't hate the original, but I didn't think it was good at all. This
felt
good.
Empty.
This is very good.
I would definitely watch this before I'd watch the other one.
Yeah. I'd watch the
Are you guys ready to get into favorite scenes yet?
Watch the other one to make fun of it after seeing this.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Well, then let's start off with you, Rachel. What was your favorite scene?
All right. I actually wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. For me, my favorite scene is just after Batman bursts the protective dome or whatever they called that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just everything about that scene when he's driving through, killing all of the parademons.
Yeah.
It's the color palette, the slow-mo moments. Everything about that to me, stylistically, was awesome. That whole scene just looked great. And that
cool scene.
Yeah, more than any like spoken word or anything, that to me was for some reason more impressive about this movie. That's what caught me the most off guard, was how much better visually it looked. The color palette was stunning. So it was just that, watching him come through and just the motion, the CGI was great. Everything worked really well for me in that scene.
Yeah.
Good call. Yeah, you get to see Batman be very Batman-y.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the times Batman fights, you see him, it's like quick cuts of him zipping away somewhere, or it's in a smaller environment, so there's a bunch of different angles that it goes through. This was larger open areas, so you could see him zip line up and take out 2 parademons and then grab their gun and start shooting. Like there was a lot more Batman-ish.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes,
good call. I like that. All right, what about you, Daniel?
I think my favorite scene. There's lots of options, right?
Oh, this one, yeah.
Yeah. I think my favorite scene was actually the fight for the first mother box.
With the Amazons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. So again, kind of comparing it to the first movie, it was much more of a fight. You got to see how much more they actually sacrificed and how much harder they fought than the original. The original just seemed kind of like it was over really quick, right? It didn't seem like much of a fight.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was, Steppenwolf just came in and was like, I'm taking this now. And he fought a little, but it wasn't tough, right? Whereas in this one, it was a fight.
Tooth and
it
nail.
was a real fight. Yeah. He didn't just grab it and leave. He definitely was more powerful than they were individually, but there were plenty of times where, it was multiple of them fighting him, and he is having a hard time keeping up, which is, I think, speaks volumes of the Amazonians, right?
Yeah. Oh, they're badass, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I love anything with Themyscira. Like, I've loved the Wonder Woman movies because of that, and I've liked the second Wonder Woman movie because of that. But yeah,
I think you got to see definitely how strong and powerful they are, and the fact that when he had pretty much all of them coming over the hill down on their horses, he was like, okay, it's time to go.
Nope.
This isn't going to be good.
Yeah, this definitely highlighted their fight style a lot more.
Yeah.
What a force they are.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
be reckoned with.
So I thought that was really cool.
Good
really
call.
Cool. Yeah.
Very good scene.
One.
So what about you?
I'm going to go with a weird one.
Good.
There's so many choices in this that I could choose, from giant fight scenes to little things that I just really enjoyed that I think might have even been in the first one, like when Diana and Bruce both go for the mouse at the same time, and there's that kind of like flirtatious interaction. I love that because I totally ship Batman and Wonder Woman. But
wow,
for me, it is the Barry Allen trying to get a job at the pet store.
Yes.
And just that whole interaction and the way he saves the woman, and it's all topped with a hot dog. The hot dog makes that scene for me. And especially the way when he's like saving her and he sees the hot dog and you see him smile as he puts it in his pocket. Because he's so like, proud of how clever he is. Like, it's wonderful. It tells you so much about the character. It tells you how he's been hiding his his abilities for so long, and it has some visual effects, like the way that he moves so fast that when he touched the glass, it turned into liquid before it shattered.
Yeah.
Just little things like that. The way that the concrete was cracking under his feet because he moves so fast that the force from that would be literally smashing the concrete. It's informative about the character and his capabilities, and also just real fun and funny and enjoyable. I just love that scene, and I'm very glad that it was kept in. A very close second is the end, the whole end of the movie where you have Batman's vision and then Martian Manhunter talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those things are amazing, and I actually even like Jared Leto's Joker in this one, and I really, really want to see that movie that will never happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really big character change.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish we could have seen that Joker in other things.
Like Suicide Squad?
Instead of
Like
the weird Joker that we got, the pimp Joker.
Yeah, he didn't have damage tattooed on his forehead this time.
Yeah. No, he didn't.
Or it was covered up with makeup.
No, yeah, I definitely thought this was a creepier Joker for sure. No, that was a great scene. Especially when he's sitting there feeding the dogs. Oh, when something happens, you have to have a hot dog to calm him down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope everybody's okay.
Right.
Yeah. I
love it.
really enjoyed that scene. I did not like the music that they chose for it, but can't be perfect, I guess.
Yeah, I don't even remember the music, so
I just remember it didn't seem to really fit. It was just kind of odd. And I don't need like popular music or anything like that. I think that the scores that they chose for things were perfect. Like the musical scores when they were, doing the fights or, having their moments, those sorts of things were perfect. I think some of the actual music that they picked were just kind of, I don't know that it fits. And that might be just me. But I thought that the scene itself was awesome. So that was definitely a good choice.
Thank you. All right. Well, then have we wrapped up the 4-hour or the slightly longer podcast about the much longer 4-hour movie?
Yeah.
I think so.
I think we have.
Awesome. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed our coverage of this movie, at least somewhat as much as you did this movie, unless you hated it, and then hopefully you liked it more. If you did hate it, though, please let us know. I'd love to know your thoughts on it and what it is you didn't like about it. If it's a darker tone, I get that. But if there's something else that didn't work for you in the movie, I'd really like to know, because I genuinely enjoyed this, and it sounds like you guys did too. Yeah. If that's the case, go online, like and subscribe, hit us up on all of the social medias. Love to hear what you think, and make sure to come back and join us next time on Were You Not Entertained?